Hey guys, so with this cold weather, I'm going to make caldo de albóndigas, which is like a meatball soup. And this is what I add into the soup, since this is about 3 of ground beef. This is mint. I'm going to use 2 tomato cans. This is seasoning salt, rice, pepper, 3 egg per pound. I'm going to use 5 garlic cloves, and this is an onion and a half. I'm going to use a whole onion to put in here, but I'm going to chop this onion to saute the tomato sauce. So I'm going to press saute, and I'm going to let it get hot. It takes about like a minute or 2, and then we'll go from there. So once this is hot, I'm going to go ahead and add about a teaspoon of oil. I'm going to add my onion, my half of an onion that I chopped, and saute that until it's translucent. Okay, now that it's translucent, I'm going to add my tomato sauce. To this, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon. And then I went and I filled up my cans with water. And I'm going to add those. Then I'm going to let this come to a boil. So now that this is boiling, I'm going to go ahead and add some water. If you already have a Instapot, let me see, I think it's about halfway. Well, it's about half of halfway. I'm probably going to add another one. Up to, so it could be up to there. I'm gonna add 1 whole leaf of mint, and then the rest I'm going to, just 1 more, I'm going to chop. And I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of chicken bouillon and mix that, and then once it comes to a boil, I'm gonna taste it to see if it's good. So I finally chopped the mint. It's like very finely, as much as small you can, the onion as well. And the garlic, simply because I'm going to mix it in here, and I want every single meatball to have onion and mint. Because this is the key, guys, to make the soup taste so good. So I'm going to add the 3 eggs. I'm going to add my onion. I'm going to add my my mint and my garlic. Of course, I'm going to add all of it. So I moved it to a bigger container, and I'm going to add a cup of rice. And I'm going to add about a teaspoon of pepper, sorry. And then seasoning salt from that Lori's brand. I'm adding about 3 teaspoons. If you're afraid to get your hands dirty, then use gloves. Sometimes I use gloves, but it's okay. I'll do this now. Then I'm going to go ahead and mix this up. I'm just trying to bring the stuff in the bottom up. You have to mix it really, really well. I squeeze, that way it all gets incorporated. So I fold, and then I squeeze and push. So here comes the fun part. I like to get an ice cream scooper. This, I just use it for me. It's a small one, and I basically do this. And I don't want to wash, so I put a foil and keep going. And then once I'm done setting them all in the plate, ugly as they are, I'm gonna go roll them. And that way I know that they're same size, and I don't have to worry about them not cooking all at the same time. So this is what they look now. I just went ahead and roll them on the palm of my hand with both of my hands. And now that this has been boiling for about 30 minutes since we've been doing everything, and you put them in when it's boiling, that way they cook instantly, like the outside, and then they don't fall apart. You also don't want to mix it right away. So I made 27 meatballs for this batch, and I'm going to roll the rest of it in a little bit. A lot of people ask me, why do I make so much food? One, I have a teenage boy to eat a lot. And two, this time around, I'm gonna send some to my sister and her family. And then I also like, as I was saying, I like to feed my elderly neighbor. She's a very old lady, super sweet. She lives by herself. She doesn't have any family members here. So I like to take, and this in leftovers is the best thing. So to this, I'm also gonna add, I got 2 large Idaho potatoes. I just diced them like this. So in half and then in half again. And then put some carrots in there. I'm gonna put this inside my crock pot. And if you see, the water is already going up. So we just make sure you leave it at that max, and then we're gonna cover it. It's been like cooking for a little bit, so I'm just gonna stir it very gently, just so my potatoes could get covered, and this is what they're looking like. But just leave them. I'm gonna leave them all simmer. And I'm still, I don't know if you can see, I'm right at the max, and then I'm gonna go ahead, close it. I'm gonna turn it off, and then I'm gonna put right here meat. So here's my other batch. It made 55 meatballs, and it will feed about 12 people. But when I was a little girl, we only got 2 balls each because we didn't have a lot of money. So now whenever I make these, I could eat like 5 of these. And here it is, 15 minutes later. So the beauty of the crock pot is that all this oil, like, it takes out all the oil of all the food. So you can just scoop all this oil out and scoop up out all this oil until it's clear and you have a healthy soup. So look at my meatballs are perfectly cooked. The rice is bursted. You don't want to mix it because it's going to separate the oil from the caldo. So you just do the gently, like just on top, like you're scraping the top part. Getting in your oil. Look how much oil I took out. And then you know you're just eating what's healthy. And this goes even with chicken breast. You'll be surprised you still take out oil with the crock pot. There's still some on there. And the chicken breast comes out really juicy. So now I can mix it. See, everything is perfectly cooked. I would have done this on the pot. I would have to put the meat first, let that almost cook, then the potatoes. 20 minutes later, put in the carrots, and then turn everything off. Then 15 minutes later, turn everything off. That's what I like about this. You could just throw everything in, and then it's done.